Hello, I'm Grady Wolf, a Bell Director Market Analyst, and today I'm bringing you an exciting new series. So you've heard of our From the Helm series, but I'm bringing it to you from a different format, live from the Resources Rising Stars conference here on the Gold Coast. And this clip here is 8 minutes with 8 CEOs. So the best bits of all my interviews with the CEOs here at the conferences. So enjoy this clip, and also if you want to see the full interviews, head to the links below.
As to the inflection and pricing, the view we've taken at Pilbara has always been the long game. The world needs a lot of lithium. We believe there's a structural deficit for lithium. So we've sort of maintained our plan of foot down and expanding as rapidly as we can. Obviously, in the recent past, yes, there's been a pullback, particularly in China. It did look fairly severe, and it did look like an inflection was going to come. And you're not surprised to see an improvement in pricing. The big question is, where does it go from here? But a lot of the signs look pretty positive. As to the question of margin, we've always had the view that the right downstream opportunity will yield additional margin for our shareholders. And the way we think about it is the more you can be involved in those value-adding steps, the more opportunity there is to realise more margin for our shareholders.
So we're obviously a hard rock lithium explorer. We're in northern Quebec, James Bay region of Quebec. It's a pretty significant discovery, but we started raising funds for a drill program in July 21. And then since July 21, we've managed to work our way through our initial drill program, which ended in this end of fall 21. That resulted in pretty significant intercepts on just the one outcrop under CV5. We drilled under both sides of it, and we had over 145 to 150 meter intercepts at around 0.93 to 0.94%. That got the attention here in Australia. So even though we were TSX Venture listed at the time, we were able to bring in a number of Australian investors who understood the hard rock space. And in a way, the rest is history, but there's still a lot ahead of us yet with the drilling that we have ahead of us for not only CV5, but the whole 50 kilometers of extent we have at the Corvette project.
So we've managed to get strong talent. We're in South Australia. It's the premier uranium district in Australia. The only operating mines are in South Australia. We've got full government support, whether Liberal, Labor, doesn't matter. They're right behind uranium mining. So you've got government support, you've got good people, and we're fully permitted. So by fully permitted, we've got an export permit for £3.3 million. We're one of 4 companies to have that export permit, the other being Olympic Dam, Heathgate and Ranger, that's going into decommissioning in Northern Territory. So those qualitative aspects. Then you take into account that we're fully funded. We've got $200 million in liquid assets. We only need to spend another $2 million on completing our CapEx build for the restart. So we're very strong balance sheet, no debt.
We have a world-class project in Gonneville, which is only 1 hour out of Perth, and it has the largest undeveloped nickel sulfide resource, which is highly in demand by buyers all over the world. We have a team with a high performance standard and a track record for rewarding shareholders, 5,000% shareholder return to date for Chalice. And we have an amazing exploration package, which we'll be drilling over the next couple of years, where we hope to find many more Gonneville-like discoveries.
Coming into a super exciting time in the project's life. We've been developing for a couple of years now, and we sit here circa 6 months out from first production, and we've got platforms underground to do lots of drilling into our ore bodies. We've got a great underground contractor who's getting awesome productivities from the grade control drilling. And I think most importantly, the areas that we're drilling right now are going to be the first areas that we get into and start mining. So, you see some of the grades and thicknesses that are coming out in those drill programs, circa 6 months out from actually getting in and starting mining them, starting turning them into gold bars. It's a pretty exciting place to be. It's very important because it puts you in the eyes of all of the investment community. So, particularly in Australia, that there's a lot of people that are index focused, and they look at us coming in and they might not have known about Bellevue because we've been too small in the past, and then suddenly they can invest in something like Bellevue. And there's a lot of action in the ASX sort of space right now. Newmont has just taken out Newcrest, which is going to leave a few gold-focused dollars flying around, and us as a new entrant into the ASX 200 with a good gold price backdrop just puts us in a good spot.
Put out our JORC resource update last week. It's fantastic. The Kelman project where we've been exploring, it's been around since the mid-2000s and
Wow.
It's been largely ignored and forgotten about. We've been doing some work over there the past 18 months on the back of increased copper prices, investor interest, and I guess the green agenda and moving towards electric vehicles and electrification. And that work's culminated in a 40% increase in that project and that project size. So we're pretty excited by the increase. That increase, I think, will put that project on the map for a lot of people and a lot of people looking to explore copper and push copper development projects forward. So we're pretty excited to see where that goes.
I think we're now delivering on the full operational potential of King of the Hills. We promised a lot, and I think we're now starting to see that come through. Great to produce 17,500 in March, 18,500 in April, and we expect that now to continue at a similar rate. But I think King of the Hills is the first large, long-life gold mine to be built since Gruyere, Goldfield and Anglo Ashanti 5 years ago. And I don't think we'll see another gold mine of this scale for another 5 years again. Probably De Grey's the next one, which is quite a while away. Turning point has been we've finished the cutback in the open pit. We're now mining on the primary ore body, which will be for the next 15 years. So this is just the first benches of stage one, but we'll be progressively working through these high-grade, large contiguous ore zones in the pit, which will provide all the base load feed for our very large SAG mill. So I think it's quite reasonable to expect that this is the run rate going forward.
Back a few months, we came up with a revised capex of nearly $900 million, and but that capex was predicated on the basis of trying to meet our timelines of July 2024, and we're going to do that. And we have now 400 people on site, and we're spending lots of money and making lots of progress. People say, will we be surprised? I guess the best people to ascertain the value of a company are the operators of the company or the board. And we like Albemarle, believe that it's a great company, but the only thing we differ on is, of course, is the price.
Yeah.
And the longer term shareholders, and including myself, look forward to dividends.
You heard it here first from The Helm. Why not watch the full interview or head to our website for more information?